なんとかなったみてえだな。畳みかける。これがスーパーサイヤ人3だ。
One thing I want to give Legends credit for, they've done a great job powering up characters via unique equips. We've seen characters go from absolute nothing to being signature aces on their main teams. Great examples of this: Yellow Super Saiyan 4 Goku, times 20 Kaioken Goku, Red Fusion Zamasu a while back, Nappa, and now we've seen the same thing for Yellow Goku Black. But what if this is an example of too much of a good thing? I asked the community, is it a good thing that Yellow Goku Black's unique equip made him arguably better than the anniversary units? Would love to know your thoughts. I even made a poll down below and the community is evenly divided. Half as many people say yes as they do say no. So I wanted to go through what the community's comments are, how they feel about this, because I could see both sides of this coin. It's great because an old character got a nice and much needed resurgence. People that have been around know that Yellow Goku Black's initial release was met with a lot of controversy. They felt that this character just wasn't good enough. But at the same time, being better than the characters you spend your hard chrono crystals on, either farmed or paid for, seems like a slap in the face because everyone just got away with something better despite you summoning for the new characters. So let's go ahead and see what people say. I'm very curious to see. Starting with Abu. He's as popular as the anniversary headliner, plus they did him dirty. Seems justified. So he's going back to exactly what I just said. He was one of the headliners for the 2024 Legends Fest. He was released alongside the Transforming Vegeta Blue, and nobody argued it, but Transforming Vegeta Blue absolutely smoked him in terms of utility. You could argue he was done dirty because for some bizarre reason, there were a lot of faults in his kit. The biggest one being having trouble when it came to depleting the unique gauge. You either had to use a green card and it had to land, which by the way, it's a long animation green card, or you had to use a blue card, which is not really something you got as free as, say, Super Baby 2, who, when his unique gauge was full, got himself a blue card. So the unique equip rectifies those things, but was it too much? And Abu feels that it's pretty damn justified. Hashi says, kinda 50-50 on it, to be honest. I think they made him a little too strong because he is a defensive unit, but attacks significantly harder than most top or newer units. Overall, I think they did his equipment nice. Let's just hope they didn't take them offensive stats from Red Broly and gave it to him. Number one, I think it's worth noting, a lot of people will have Yellow Goku Black at higher stars. If you summon for Broly, he's there. You're gonna end up pulling him from there. He's also on the Master Pack banners, which maybe if people farm some tickets, they would be summoning on that. But it's also been a few years now. So people are probably going to have him at, say, 7 stars and above. So he's going to perform better just on his own. You pulled more copies of him. But I do agree. Yellow Goku Black being a defensive character, but hitting as hard as characters designed to deal damage is a bit of a head scratcher. But the final comment is the funniest. Let's just hope they didn't take them offensive stats from Red Broly and gave it to him. Now, Red Broly's unique equip should come out next week. Don't get mad at me for saying this. I think they're going to fumble him. We've had a nice track record of great unique equips, but the 2 times where they fumble, it's because the character that gets the unique is competing with a type that another character or a summonable character owns. Red Broly is a Red Movie Saga character. You really think they want to make Red Broly better than Ultra Gogeta Blue? Hell no! They want you to spend all your money on Ultra Gogeta Blue. The last time we saw this was when Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta got his unique equip. That thing was, it was not good enough. But guess what? They deliberately did that because they wanted you to pull for Ultra Sword of Hope Trunks. They didn't want this other rink-a-dink green character to take that slot from the shiny Ultra that they released. No. The same thing is going to happen with Red Broly. I don't have any confidence in it. I genuinely think Red Broly's unique equip is going to be just average. He could be usable. You can do some nice little niche plays with it, but it's not going to be any yellow Goku Black. It's not going to be any Nappa. It's not going to be any yellow Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think they're going to hold back on it because they want that red slot for movies to be for Gogeta. And even if you argue, what about powerful opponent, they probably want you to just leader slot Gogeta anyways. He's a new shiny toy. They sure as hell don't want this old character to take that slot. So I am with you, man. I'm kind of nervous for that too. Jet says, I think it's actually crazy that if you decided to just say screw the anniversary and went ham on supervillain Rose, the game is fully riding your meat for that decision. Especially when the last few years have had their anniversaries completely snuffed out, even the May monthly LF. See, this is why I asked this question. Is a bad business decision... Is bad business good for the players? You could argue somebody that doesn't touch the anniversary at all because they don't care. Is that not bad business that they didn't do something to incentivize you to summon? You're in a way rewarded for not caring. Is that a bad thing? If you're somebody that absolutely loves Future, like the person commenting below, what if you absolutely love Future and you summon on nothing at all? Is this bad? I don't know. The previous premium character releasing, snuffing out the anniversary is not even anything new. A classic example is the 4th anniversary. We got the infamous Legends Limited 17 and 18 that destroyed the entire 4th anniversary. You could not summon on anything there and still be okay. MUI Goku didn't matter. Dragon Fist Goku, don't care. Ultra Super Vegito, dude. The droids would destroy Ultra Super Vegito. So, it is kind of funny. Rose says, for those who summoned for this anniversary, no, it's not a good thing. For those who summoned for him on the release, yes, it is. I'm someone who used them on release all the time and occasionally as time passes, and I'm very satisfied that justice is served. But poor people who summon for... I'm going to assume you meant, but it's very unfortunate for people who summon for Red, Ultra, Gogeta, Blue, and Broly, man. I feel bad. Yeah, maybe they interpreted it as them being done dirty, that this random free character ended up being better than the character that they summoned for. The shiny toy is not as cool as what this old power-up is. But again, is that necessarily a bad thing? That character is going to be more readily available for people. Odds are you're going to have higher stars. Unique equips are not as difficult to get to Godly now with the final red slot. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But I know for you it's going to be a great thing. I know that you're a Future main, so... I'm just praying that one day my Buu Duo get a unique equip that does him justice. Anytime I see a powerful unique equip that takes a character from 0 to hero, I always feel bad for the Buu Duo, Evo Ken, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. Imagine putting 10% damage guard on a piece of equipment for 1 year anniversary headliners a few months later. That's such a slap in the face, for sure. CVG was done dirty. I don't think it's a good thing, not because it's a bad thing to make transforming Goku Black good, but because making him that good kind of makes it feel like the new headliners are a lost investment and not worthwhile. Yeah, that's totally valid. But then again, you could just run them together. Broly's best friend actually is Yellow Goku Black. Those two pair together beautifully. So maybe it's not total loss. And you could argue that a powerful yellow character actually increases the stoinks for Ultra Gogeta Blue, because now there's far more necessity for a strong red. Legends is, without a doubt, releasing a red plus character in this anniversary. Gogeta not being red plus because they went with an ultra was certainly a choice, but he is the strongest red we got in the game right now. Yellow Goku Black being as scary as he is just makes Ultra Gogeta Blue that much more necessary. So I don't know, maybe it's Stoinks in both of their baskets. Definitely not. He's had his moment when they dropped him initially. Why backtrack from an older celebration unit and value that... What? Why backtrack from an older celebration and value that unit to a higher degree than the newest celebration unit? People have waited for these releases since the year began, only to be overshadowed by a 2024 unit. Yeah, see, I mean, this is why I asked the question. Does giving value to older things, to this degree, is this a good business practice that makes players happy that have him? Or is it a slap in the face for people that have saved for these new characters, just seeing this older character be better than them? This is actually a callback issue we had several years ago with Zenkai Awakenings. Zenkai characters around the first to second year were way better than any new LF that dropped. So people ask themselves, this is such a slap in the face. Why would I care to summon for any 2-star LF, because back then you only got him for 600 Z power, when I could just get a 7-star and above Zenkai character with absurd stats and an absurd kit? Why would I care? This is feeling like one of those moments when the unique equip is so good that it beats new characters. It just becomes a question of, why do I care? Why do I summon? Why should I summon when a character from 2 years ago is going to be better? It's a callback to that, just with different variables. I'm still of the opinion that it's good because it's more accessible for the players. For the business side of things, maybe it's bad, because for Legends, it, like you said, it overshadows the new characters. That kind of sucks. But would bad business end up being better for the players? Especially for a gacha game? I don't know. It is, considering he was Metal Cooler... He was Metal Cooler level so underwhelming on release. Transforming Vegeta Blue surpassed him in every single way back then and was a top 2 unit in the game at the time. Him being sort of better than the big celeb units you'd probably spend your cash on is a bit of a bummer though. Metal Cooler levels of underwhelming. I don't know about that. Goku Black had a niche, right? He had a role. I still praise the aspects of this character. Like when you did end up having the blue card and depleting the gauge, yeah, the guy did his job. He was tanking, he was disrupting, not too bad. That no special cover action debuff actually had some utility because at the time, around 2024 Fest, this was before the design philosophy changed. There were some old characters without easy cover and all that you could now run with the guy. It was niche, but you could do it. So he had some value on those fronts. Metal Cooler, unfortunately, is sort of like a new design philosophy's tackle on a defensive character. You could see where they are going with it. They wanted to make sure that this is a character where his value is the lives. So in the same way Broly's auto counter is a way to stop the combos, Metal Cooler's way to stop the combos was him just straight up dying. The problem is, defense at the time was just not catching up to offense. Offense was absurd. So you ended up losing to damage. It didn't help that we had the Ultra Namek Goku, who was able to snuff away Metal Cooler's type neutral. So I think he was a stab at a new design philosophy's tackle of what a defensive character should be. Unfortunately, remnants of the old design philosophy on the offensive front still lingered, so it had no opportunity of working. You could argue Metal Cooler's disappointing performance is part of the issue we have now, where everybody has 2 lives debuffing Disrupt. We have somehow gone back to pre-design philosophy changing one-man army crap again. And that's all because their attempts at the new design philosophy didn't work. They had to keep pushing the needle, and we ended up in the same spot. No! I'm all for LF unit plats doing them justice, and don't think they should undertune them, but this is too much. If it was a non-celebration month, I wouldn't mind, but a lot of people saved tons of Chrono Crystals for months, and even some money, assuming the new shiny units will dominate. I don't think that's fair to them. Rose is offensively as good as the new units and defensively outrageous. Gogeta Stardust Fall is not as powerful against them and is Blue's one-shot Broly. Now if you want to dent Rose, you're basically killing everyone else. More importantly, if they do make a unit this busted, it should be for a team that needs help. None of the teams Rose is on needed help, it just makes the LR Rose much more insufferable. That's really the most annoying part. I do think he deserved justice, but I don't think this was the right time to make him so overwhelming. That's an interesting take. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but the timing of it is bad. I agree. This is just like when we got the Revival Gohan. It was shortly after we got our first Revival Purple Gohan as part of the 3rd anniversary part 2. It was bad timing to drop another Revival Hybrid Saiyan, but they made him underwhelming to make up for that. In this case, it's bad timing and it's too damn good. So it's a double whammy of just, what the hell, man? What are we doing? So on those fronts, I agree. I've been screaming for powerful opponent buffs, but I am now going to be quiet. I'm good. I've said it for quite a while. I said we need more villains. Powerful opponent needs to help tame against the main antagonist characters. But now I'm good. So Legends, if you hear me, I'm good now. You can stop. We don't need any more. Maybe after Red Broly's unique equip, then you can chill out. But I agree. I think this is a valid take. Hell no! They genuinely added too much to this equip. I'm glad he's good, but he should not be eating hits from the highest damaging character in the game who's also red. This is where I'm confused on why they didn't give us a red plus. I said in another tweet that Legends must be so confident in the red plus that they're dropping soon that they were willing to give yellow Goku Black this much power. But part of the problem is, like I said before, yellow Goku Black is a defensive version on the pre-designed philosophy change. So all the offensive characters back then, stupid long combos, so many 4-strawed cards, everybody had some overpowered tech. It was awful. But Goku Black is a defensive version of that. This guy heals with the unique gauge. He's not going to heal every time he gets hit. He heals after the combo is over. And even worse is this guy has a ton of neutral. So he's right. Even if we end up with a red plus, what does it matter? The guy's going to be type neutral for most of it anyways. He deserved the redemption arc for how he was treated on release, and him being old at this point means that a lot of people have access to a top tier unit that was rotting in the box. But they definitely overtuned that equip. He's too insane both offensively and defensively. I agree. I would say yes and no. He wasn't this meta-defining when he released, so it's a good thing in a way, but at the same time, I feel like summoning for the new units was a bit invalidated because it can't just run some future variants and probably still dominate in PvP for part 1. Can't say anything if I keep pulling this Boldy. Hopefully you end up pulling yellow Goku Black if that's what you're chasing for. But hey man, he's still a top 10 character, it's not all lost. He's got type neutral on the unique. I'm mixed. I'm of the opinion that older units which get buffed should be competent enough to compete in the current meta, and the off chance you get shafted, but Boop does make a valid point on why an older unit shouldn't overpower new releases, as he sees transforming Goku Black being overtuned. This is the problem. I think they struggle with finding that fine balance of good, but not too good. This is exactly what happened in the Zenkai meta. They couldn't stop making these characters too good. But in this case for the unique equip, maybe they did go too far. It's funny. You take a look at what that unique equip does, and it's actually pretty basic. Really, really basic. It's just some stats, get some blues, heals when he gets hit. But because this character is from a time where they went too far for anything, it makes you wonder, does that mean any character from that era with good enough stats is going to be too overpowered? So transforming Vegeta Blue, transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku, literally anyone from that time shouldn't get anything? I wonder. People who vote yes are just glazing. I don't think it's normal to see Goku Black in every PvP match instead of the new anniversary units. Why did I even summon on the part 1 banners if the LR Rose banner has all the top units? Yep. And look, this is another team that I often see where it's blue, blue, yellow. That's why I got this guy in high regards. You'll see a tier list in the coming days. I think it's a good thing, especially if you got shafted. He fits on both Part 1 characters' respective teams, God Key and PO. It gives those that haven't pulled new units a very viable option. Broly and Gogeta have their own identity, so I don't think transforming Goku Black overshadows them. It's a shame that you go all in on a freaking anniversary unit and poof, there goes your advantage that you saved for all these months. I don't care what anyone says, the new unit should always be the best or at least top 5, especially for anniversary and fest. I don't think transforming Goku Black didn't push Broly or Gogeta out of the top 5 though. I still have them up there. It's more of a question of, does an old character becoming this good upset people? You know, yeah, is it because this character is more accessible to everybody, is it a bad thing? But for the people that have summoned for these characters and waited a long time for them, is it a good thing? That's what I'm curious about. I'm trying to see if there's any differing opinions here. In a vacuum, yes, because herder free-to-play players have a chance, but personally, no. I'm not saying I wanted him to be bad, but outright outperforming the anniversary units in most scenarios is not a good thing. We're in this fine line of going back to the Zenkai meta, where back in the FSK days, yes, he's making the connection. Same idea. Same exact idea. I think the problem is, this might actually be a separate video that I'll make, but I think part of the problem is this game is just old now. And what I mean by that is, like all gacha games, they keep adding layers to the characters. They kind of have to, right? That's how they keep people interested. Simply upping the damage numbers and your tanking knots and your stats, that's not enough to get people enticed. They have to start doing new things. So the little things, starting off with, hey, he gets a card on entry and 10% damage, to then, oh, he gets a strike that turns into a strike and he stacks 15% damage every time he uses a card, to, okay, he's got level 1 card draw speed, guaranteed drawing a strike, 40% damage inflicted, and every time he faces somebody, he gets another card. As time goes on, and they have to keep stacking on top of the last best thing, we get to a point where it just becomes so easy to overdo it. There's just so many more variables now. That's why every character has to do literally everything. Because if you don't, people will consider you bad. How many characters... Like 90% of the characters that came out this year had endurance. They all had a second life and or debuffing. But one premium character that didn't, like Buhan, was immediately regarded as trash because he didn't have it. And that's the issue that they're facing. So I wonder, for this unique equip and these characters, when it comes time to get the people excited and they drop a unique equip to power it up, maybe they just don't know how much is too much, right? Because in a vacuum, the stats and everything that they gave him should put him up to modern numbers, and yet it's just way too much because of his baseline kit and what that unique gauge can do. They underestimated it. So I don't know. Readily accessible to more people, overpowered number 1. Is that bad or good? Finally, someone else who's a content creator is saying something that is normal. What? Finally, someone else who's a content creator is saying something that is normally a hot take by the UGB fans. Normally a hot take? I'm confused. Normally a hot take by UGB fans? I guess he's saying the fact that transforming Goku Black can comfortably put up with Ultra Gogeta Blue is not a good thing. And that people are scrutinizing Ultra Gogeta Blue fans because they're either saying, haha, your Ultra sucks, or they're saying, why are you complaining? It's not that bad. You're building your Ultra Gogeta Blue bad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious what people are thinking. I'll give my final thoughts below about it after. He got treated so badly on release is completely fair. He's showing this display now with the equip. What goes around comes around? Oh god, dude. If what goes around comes around is a real thing, I do not, under any circumstances, power up Metal Cooler. Do not. If that's really how the universe works and karma is coming back to get us, then we're all screwed when that guy gets a unique equip. We are dead. The game will die. That guy will destroy everybody. So I hope that does not happen. Yes, it is. Not just as justice for his horrible release, but also for the health of the game. Having Gogeta and Broly head and shoulders above the rest of the characters isn't healthy. I don't think Gogeta and Broly were head and shoulders above the rest of the characters. Head and shoulders implies it's a significant gap. I would say Gogeta and Broly were better, but not to that degree. Sword of Hope Trunks, Legend Rose, Nappa, Super Vegito, these guys could still keep up with them, but I'm not denying Gogeta and Broly individually were probably outputting more, but not head and shoulders. I wouldn't say that. But here's the thing. You're saying Gogeta and Broly head and shoulders above the rest of the characters isn't healthy. So what does that say about Goku Black if he's head and shoulders above Gogeta and Broly? Isn't this the same issue, but now it's an old character who got the power up versus the two characters you spent money on? I don't know. Okay. I think universally people are just equally divided. But I totally understand both sides, right? On the one hand, it's a good thing because this character is easily accessible to a lot of players. If you've been playing for a while, summoning for a while, it's a character you got in your box, and with this unique equip, now people can feel confident they have a top tier option. I understand that front. But on the other side, I understand the frustration. If you are somebody that has deliberately avoided a ton of summons because you're free to play, or they just don't interest you, or you're saving money, and then the anniversary comes around and you want to go all in, it kind of feels bittersweet to see an old character just output more than what you saved for. All the metas you had to deal with your old characters, all the temptation you had to avoid because you're saving for this moment, it's kind of a slap in the face. In my personal opinion, I think it's both. I know that's such a safe answer, but the reason why I say that is I think it's good when old characters are considered some of the best again, because without, it's just, I think it's great to have old characters get that second win, get a chance to use that character again, because for some people it's a fan favorite. But I'm also on the other side where they went too far. And a big reason for this isn't because of how they overshadow the anniversary characters. It's because every time they push it too far with a character, they have to beat it. Right? Every new bar they set, we have to leap above. So when they release somebody that's just ridiculously overtuned, I'm talking like this guy does everything and their only weakness is one little tiny itty bitty thing. It takes forever to deal with them. And when we finally counter them, it's something busted. The best example of this is Ultra Majin Vegeta. That guy, to this day, has the most complete kit in the entire game. The most overtuned character we ever got. Auto counters, disrupt, rush killing, lock in, type neutral, AoE green, so much sustain, so much damage, long combos, long cover null. This guy did everything. Do you know what it took to kill him? A new nuclear design approach to the entire game. They literally had to go into the vault and rip off the limits to what Damage Guard was so we can start killing Ultra Majin Vegeta. And funny enough, even when that guy gets 20% more damage, you could see where he could be used. He's an example of a character where all you had to do was give him like 100% Damage Guard and like a little bit of damage inflicted and people would use him again. That's how good his kit is. So Yellow Goku Black being as good as he is kind of worrying for me, just because we're going to have to get some nuclear approach to getting rid of him. But if Legends feels that confident in him, and we end up seeing a Red Plus that actually has the tools to deal with Yellow Goku Black, then I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see what Red Broly can do. Again, I do think they're going to shaft him, but if he ends up being good, he could be the taming monster we need for Yellow Goku Black. But either way, let me know what you think in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, peace.